Alright, everybody. I think it's finally time I talk about The Mandalorian, Seasons 1 and 2. I did review Season 2 2 years ago, and I feel like I was different in reviewing back then. I feel like I want to give, a proper thoughts on these episodes. And I've actually, fun fact, I've actually never reviewed Season 1 of the show. So, let's talk about it. So, Season 1 came out, 3 years ago. That's insane. And, it was big, because, I wanted to watch this show. And, I didn't have Disney Plus the first time. And, I think it wasn't until I got a new TV, and my parents got Disney Plus or whatever, and then I finally watched The Mandalorian. And I think it was a week before the finale already. It's insane. So, I watched all the episodes, got caught up. And what I really like about The Mandalorian Season 1 is how different it all is. It's a Western story. I like how there's not really many familiar characters in the show. It has characters you may have seen in the movies, in Star Wars. But it's all new characters and stuff. And I really love the character of Din Djarin. Honestly, I think he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters, because I really am invested in this character and the story. Because he is known as the Mandalorian who never takes off his helmet. Because he follows a very cult-like tribe where they don't take off their helmets. And if they do, you're basically kicked out of their tribe, which is later explored in the Book of Boba Fett. And the first episode is Din's just doing simple things. He's going on his bounty hunting, and I always love the action, the way he's just trying to get a drink or something, but then people are trying to bother him, but then Amanda just swoops in there, kicks all their asses. He ends up closes a door on one of the goons he takes down. It's intense. He ends up arresting this one blue dude. I forget his name. And then he, basically what he does to his prisoner is that he carbonite freezes them. The guy is just searching around Mando's ship, and he's basically trying to get out. And then Mando just freezes him. And it's honestly, Mando is kind of a bad guy at first. But then things change when he gets to a planet after he gets his armor made, Beskar. And I like how he slowly gets it as the show goes on. And then he basically goes on a mission, and he's there with some IG droid, and they take down all the pirate troops there. And basically the episode ends where we meet Baby Yoda, or / Grogu. And Grogu's been popularized a lot in The Mandalorian. There's toys, plushies, stickers, heck, even birthday supplies. And Grogu's probably become the most infamous Star Wars characters. I feel like the character could be more interesting now than the popularity, because I think the character is more fascinating. What frustrates me is that most people who talk about Baby Yoda and just wear the clothes, I don't feel like they don't actually talk about the Mandalorian. They just want to talk about Grogu. But everyone's entitled to their opinions. They're going to like what they want to like, and that's okay. We can all like things. We can all be equal. And so, I think the next episode, The Child, basically explores Mando, and it's a very quiet episode. Mando is just walking around, I think, this desert sort of planet, and he's with Grogu, and he's in this little pod thing, and Mando's just silent. And even at night, where he meets this Ugnaught, who's very wise. And I think he basically teaches Mando how to ride stuff, and I think the best scene in this where Mando has to take down this rhino looking being. He bashes at him, and we see Mando get his butt kicked a lot. You almost think the guy's gonna die, but he doesn't. And so he does take it down. He almost dies, but Grogu saves him through, because he's basically he's got force abilities. And I think the episode does end where Mando does have to get his ship repaired because I think it got wrecked. And a bunch of Jawas off-worlders stole his ship. And the way he takes on the Jawas is just brutal. I feel bad for the Jawas. And it takes him a few days, and then he finally gets the ship, the Razor Crest, repaired. And the Razor Crest is a great ship, by the way. Like, it just looks fun to ride in, for sure. It's just a straight-up bounty hunting home kind of ship. And I think the third episode is kind of simple. He meets with Carl Weathers' character. By the way, Carl Weathers from the the Rocky movies is in Star Wars, which is really cool. And he basically, I think, gives up Grogu because that was his mission, to get paid to find Grogu. But he didn't want to kill him. But he gives it to the Imperials, and then starts to have some humanity in him, because he realizes that he does care for the child. He doesn't want to see him get tortured or get experimented on. And then basically goes back to the Imperial place, and then takes down all the troops, and even the scientists. He seemed a little nice. Like, didn't seem entirely evil, like the Empire, where they do cruel things, and the people don't know about it. But then basically Din rescues Grogu, and I think Din even gets help from the Mandalorians to take down Grief Karga's team, and it's very cool. And I love the part where Din is just like, I need one of those jetpacks, which is set up later in season 2. And then episode 4, The Sanctuary, is basically where he meets Cara Dune. And Cara Dune's basically, she used to be an Imperial shock trooper, but now she's a rebellion hero. And basically Cara and Din have this little quarrel. We see a bunch of background characters and stuff. And basically we learn that this village is endangered from this tribe of raiders, and Din and Cara don't think they have a chance to take down these people. Wait, no, it's the people who don't think they can take them down. But then it seems like they're all getting along. Like, they really like Grogu, and Din does consider him staying with this tribe of people. But then he realizes he's not safe, as Din then also teaches the people how to fight. I felt like that was the best aspect of that episode, because he's teaching that people can stand up and fight for themselves instead of having to be in fear. And they take down this ATST, and they win. They take down the tribe. Then looks like they're about to live peacefully, but then it's revealed that a spy was trying to attack Grogu. And then Din has to take the child with him, as he almost considered taking him, letting him stay. But then I think episode 5 is the Gunslinger. Now, this is the least liked episode. At least we got Tatooine. But this episode was fine, in my opinion, because it does tie into the Book of Boba Fett, which explains a lot, I guess. It's where we meet Fennec Shan, the bounty hunter. I did like the Junker Lady, because I actually like that character. I like how she just has her own way of living on Tatooine. She even teaches Din lessons along the way about parenting, how she shouldn't leave Grogu all alone. How he shouldn't leave Grogu all alone in the ship. And I love the part where she makes a being's about to come out of the Razor Crest, but it's revealed to be Grogu, and then she's just like, aww. And then basically, the gunslinger character, I never really liked that character. I just thought he was just some slimy guy. I didn't really feel anything when he's on the screen. And then basically, Din and him take down Fennec Shan late at night. They create this huge blast which Boba sees, as we do see footsteps go near Fennec at the end. As it's revealed it was Boba. And then, I think Mando does save Grogu from the gunslinger, as he did betray Din. But, yeah, this was it wasn't that bad of an episode, but I thought it was alright. I think it was one of the shortest. So next is the prisoners. This is where Mando teams up with these group of prisoners who were like criminals, and they're basically going on this mission where they have to rescue this Twi'lek guy. I think one of the guys' name is Mayfield. I first didn't like Mayfield. He was played by Bill Burr, who was in Breaking Bad. Good show. And then they basically have this team up, and they're really untrusting to where Din has to hide Grogu, and they do find him. They're all really aggressive, not good people. And I do like the prison break. It's intense. I think we did get some cool action scenes. And then I always love the part where he says, "Get that blaster out of my face, Mando." It's basically Din is learning humanity more by when they're hesitant on killing a rebel officer. It was also played by Matt Lander, Anakin Skywalker himself. And the one Twi'lek lady ends up shooting him anyway. It's just cold-blooded for sure. And I think Din does take down the entire crew and locks them in a cell. And I love the part where the guy who gave Din the mission, he thinks he's going to take down Mando, but Mando basically used a tracker to lure the Liberal Alliance to take down that guy, and I just love how he thinks, oh yeah, I'm about to take down Mando. But no, the X-Wings come, and then he's just like, oh no. So, looks like he got some karma. And yeah, it proves that don't mess with Din Djarin. And the last two episodes I felt were the most intense episodes, because that's where we meet Moff Gideon. Now Moff Gideon, I think he's one of the best villains in this show. He basically wants Grogu, but we don't know why he wants him. I feel like we still don't know why. Even in season 2, I feel like we don't know why. And basically, Din goes back to the planet, for where he started, and he basically is on a mission to protect the child. He even surrenders himself, and he teams up with, Grief Karga and Cara Dune, and it's basically a big pursuit to protect Grogu. And I love the part where the Ugnaught teaches Din that droids are not necessarily evil, just the way they're programmed. And he reprogrammed the IG droid who got shot in the first episode. And so, basically, the Empire gets on their trail, and there's a bunch of stormtroopers. We get this cool TIE fighter. And then Moff Gideon says to chill in line, going, "You have something I want." And then the episode 7 does end like that, but then I think what happened was in episode 8, the Ugnaught gets shot, and Grogu gets captured by these two scout troopers who are clearly tagging Bink. If you don't know, those are two Legends characters who are basically a parody version of Star Wars. It's basically like that. And I think the IG droid ends up saving Grogu, and he returns them to Din. But then something bad happens. A flame trooper ends up causing a huge fire and almost looks like it's going to kill our characters, but Grogu uses his last bit of force powers to take down the guy. It's even overwhelming for him. And basically, Din gets really injured and looks like he's about to die. But then we finally see what he looks like without the helmet. In one of the episodes, the Cara Dune episode, he does take off the helmet to eat, but that's about it. So we were wondering what he looks like without that mask. Even people were trying to take it off in the Prisoners episode. And so Din gets his face repaired, and it's revealed to just be a guy. Honestly, if you're just looking at The Mandalorian, you could just look up the actor Pedro Pascal, and then boom, you'll find out who he is. And so Din gets... it was kind of shocking to see Din was willing to almost die. And so, basically, they all get together, and they meet... I forgot to mention the Armorer, who is basically Din's cult leader, and she basically gives them the mission, which is set up for Season 2, for Din has to go deliver Grogu to a Jedi, and return him to, and he goes, this is the way. And she basically gives Din his full armor, and he looks ready. I love it. He looks shiny, looks good in the armor. And basically they go on this lava thing with this droid with hands. That droid looked freaky. And they almost get shot by a squad of stormtroopers, but the ID droid sacrifices himself. Even Din starts to show compassion to the droid a little, and then the droid ends up blowing himself up, and then the heroes get away, and then Moff Gideon looks like he's ready to attack them with his TIE fighter, but then Din jetpacks his way and then destroys the TIE fighter, and then the characters do go their separate ways, and Din buries the Ugnaught, and then he flies away with Grogu, and it's revealed Moff Gideon has the Darksaber. And so that ends Season 1 of The Mandalorian. So what if you think of Season 1? I think it has a lot of good character depth with Din Djarin, even though we know little about him. Some episodes were a lot slower. Some characters I didn't really feel familiar with, or didn't really exactly like, but overall, I think this was a great Western and a nice new take on a first-time Star Wars live-action show. We were supposed to get a Star Wars live-action show years ago called Star Wars Underworld, but it got canceled because of budget. But I'm so happy Star Wars is able to make all these shows, even if they have flaws. We can still enjoy Star Wars and have a good time. Honestly, I thought about reviewing Season 2, but I feel like I've gone on this review long enough. Maybe I'll talk about Season 2, but I am excited for The Mandalorian Season 3. I'm hoping to review it. So with that said, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.